This is Kathy from Gadgets Top 321, and in today's video I'm going to take a quick look at some of the pens that I'm using this week. And these pens that I've got inked up and ready to use this week, I've got specific jobs for each one, and these are pens that I'm really enjoying using. I've found a really good niche for them. The first one is the Pilot Custom 74 with a fine nib. I've got it inked up with Diamine Earl Grey, and I use this pen for writing in my personal journal. That's pretty much the only thing I use it for, and I really enjoy it. My personal journal has Apica, a little Apica notebook in it, and I just love how the pen feels on paper. And for my Bible study and journaling, I'm using my Pilot Prera with a fine nib. Right now I've got it inked up with Dietrich Sherlock Holmes, and I just inked it up right before I started shooting this video. I cleaned out the pen and re-inked it up, but I just finished using Diamine Oxford Blue, and I'm not a big fan of sheening inks, but in this really fine nib, man, it just looks good. You can see the red sheen in that fine line that it puts down, and I really enjoy that. But I like Sherlock Holmes too. Oxford Blue and Sherlock Holmes are both kind of a dark navy blue, almost a blue black, and just nice looking blue inks. And what I've been carrying to school is my Sailor Pro Color 500 inked up with KWZ Standard Grapefruit. This is just a favorite pen and ink combination. I just love how they work together. And I took it to school today to grade papers with, and I took my Kaweco Skyline Sport with Konpeki as a backup, but I ended up using this to grade with because I love Konpeki also. So I'm going to do a little writing sample with each one, and I've got one more. I've been tinkering with my Pen BBS 308. I've got the Nemesign 0.6 stub nib in it, and it's been writing really well. I think I'm a little bit low on ink, but I haven't written with it today. I want to see how well it starts up after setting for a day. So let me scoot these over. You can see where I was doing some writing samples with the fine nib that came with the Pen BBS, and I've been having some issues with it writing dry, but we're going to work on that. Right now I'm enjoying that Nemesign stub nib. Let's see how these look. I've been having trouble here lately being in focus when I do my writing sample, so I'm going to try my best here to stay in focus. Okay, the Custom 74 first with a fine nib. I think whenever I move, it tries to focus on my hand. In this fine nib, I I like the amount of ink that it puts down. It's almost, as you're writing, it looks almost black. It's just slightly off black. And as it dries, it's just a nice dark gray. Now in different pens, depending on, well, I wrote off the page there. Depending on how wet the pen is, you can have a completely different experience. But these two, this pen and ink, work really well together. Let's see. Next is the Pilot Prera with fine nib. Look how fine that is. I remember when I wrote with this pen for the first time, I was just like, wow, blown away by how fine it was and smooth at the same time. And I think I'm still writing. Not paying attention to how much in the paper I am. Okay, or in the frame. And let's see, next, the Kaweco Sport. Konpeki is just a nice ink with this pen. This is an extra fine, but look how much broader it is than the other two. And depending on what paper you're writing on, this is enough ink that you start to see just a hint of sheen. Man, that's a pretty blue. Let's see. Next, the Sailor Pro Color. It's amazing how different these pens feel on the paper, but they're all very pleasant. All feel very different, but all very enjoyable to use. I'm going to call this a medium fine. It says fine on the nib, but when I bought it, the product description said medium fine, and I think it writes like a medium fine, at least like a Sailor medium fine anyway. I love that color, that dark orange, orangish red, reddish orange. Let's see. And now let's see how the Pen BBS 308 does after setting for a day with this Nemesign nib. A little bit of a hard start. Now, this Sailor Gentle Black in this broad of a nib, I'm not a super fan of, but I'm pretty pleased with how it's writing. I think that was more on me. I didn't put that's not really a hard start there. I didn't put the nib all the way to the paper before I started writing. But with a different color ink, I think I'm going to really like this. I may make this pen and nib combination permanent. All right. Okay, I think that's been a success. And this is just the collection of pens that I'm using this week. This one I probably won't be using much longer. It's almost out of ink. And then I'll go back to using the Sailor Pro Color for grading. And I'm just really enjoying this. I've been using it with my Passport Traveler's Notebook, and this is just a perfect size to use with that. Really enjoying that. Alright, if you found this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel.